Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I'm your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Friday, March 25th, 2022. Yes, the weekend is here. Yes, the Sweet 16 round two is here. Yes, we are still in Vegas. About to set some records, I guess, for temperature. Today, tomorrow, low to mid 90s, which I guess this time of year is a little too early. I do know a lot of the times I am out here. I'm lucky if I get into the low 80s. So next couple days, and then Sunday they said around 89. Apologies, voice. Allergies are bad, and I'm struggling. Combine that with the AC, and I wake up in the morning and sound like Darth Vader. So apologies there. Also the internet is struggling as well today. So having a little rough morning here. Uh, Hats off last night. I have to again met up with the real Vegas Dave Sharapan at the Circa last night. Saw the general's the wrong word there. Saw the famous Circa cast of characters, Jeffrey Benson, keeping the counter happy. I mean, it was busy. Derek Stevens high above courtside where he usually is. Sean King and Tim Murray were doing their show on VSiN. They both came out and talked to me and Dave. And then after the madness was over, we were blessed to have dinner with Tim Murray upstairs at the Chinese food place. Amazing food, amazing company. And it was a good time. And thank you again, Tim, for taking your time to have dinner with us. The games, the Zags are who we thought they were. At least I did. I compare them to the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs. Great regular season. Hats off. You can get your regular season trophy and just can't get it done, period. Full transparency. I just needed them to win outright, not cover the 10. Just win. And they were minus 500 on the money line to cash a $600 parlay, but you know how that goes there. But some great games. Duke down the stretch was phenomenal. We had the over. We cashed the over there. That was our only winner. We were on the Zags -9 and Michigan +5.5. And we did have the ball to get the backdoor cover and did clank that. So we're basically 500 for the week. That happens after a couple big weeks. It's called regression, but that's okay. We have a few days left to get that back. Scotty will smile again. My eyes in baseball have been crazy. 3-1 yesterday in bases. And comical. That's all. It's comical. But hey, let's bring him on. The man from the Palm Tree State himself, the one, the only, Scotty Webb. What's up?
Morning, Jeff. It's Friday, right? So it's time to let loose and have some fun today. Whatever. I'm glad you get to see 90-degree weather. That's pretty cool, especially in March, right?
Yeah, and we're going to have another show just less than 2 hours away, so it's going to be cutting into my hot tub time, but I got to get it in early before, it is 90 and I'm out there frying. So,
well, here's a little tip. When it's hot outside, it's not good fun in the hot tub, I'm telling you. The hot tubs are better when it's cooler outside. It's 95 degrees and you're in the hot tub. You can't hardly breathe.
Well, you know what? I was going to say it this way. I never see this kind of heat out here in March, like I said earlier. I come out in July for the World Series of Poker, and I get the 115. So you're right. And it's funny when I bring the family, you got to strategically do the sun. You got to get out there 7, 8 a.m., get your little sun from, till 9:30, 10, get out of the sun, and then you got to go back in there around that 4:30. But, 8 o'clock, everything opens up, and there's already people out there like this. They're all lied back. I mean, these guys and women are browner than brown. I'm like, geez, professional suntanners. How's that?
Well, I mean, there's no question. But I mean, you know what? Keeps him out of trouble.
No doubt. No doubt. Keep him out of the casino saving money, and it is what it is. Let's get your MLB update. Anything earth shattering? I saw the email today about velocity. I was at the Bellagio earlier last night for the start of the NFBC fantasy draft. So a lot of names that were getting picked up late that I don't know, and I have Chandler's forecaster. I have the minor league report. I haven't dug deep, and I heard a lot of people in the background. Hey, I'm behind. I'm behind in my work because of the stoppage, and they weren't sure when it was coming. But what are you seeing out there, Scott?
Well, not a whole lot. I mean, I think that the second, third, fourth times out is going to be important. I didn't think that the guys were going very deep in their second time out. I expected them to go at least 50. I haven't seen anybody throw 50 pitches yet. So I was expecting that already because they got it's what 13 days away. So that means they'll probably get 2 more starts in, and that they definitely have to push over 50 in the next one, and they need to get to 60 in the next one. So that gets them at least by opening day to be 70, 75 pitches, and you got to quantify pitches by 15 per inning. And that's about where it's going to be. So if you got 15 pitches per inning, for the first 2 innings, that's 30, then 60 is going to be 4 innings, 75 pitches is about 5 innings. So, that's the way it works these days. And you can also quantify that too when you're looking at where you think that, because some of these websites do these data numbers by how many pitches they throw. Well, this guy's good. This is his numbers for his first 1 through 25 pitches, and then 25 through 50. And then, so you can look at it from a lot of different levels and get some handicapping based off of, lots of different points of view, so to speak. But pitch count's important, and these guys will be on them at the beginning. They're nobody going to go out there and throw 100 pitches. I don't care if they got a no-hitter going. They're not going to let them go 100 pitches because, okay, it's a shortened spring training. Okay, well, they're going to protect their arm. I get it. But, I don't think they're getting enough credit for how much they do in the offseason and how much work they're doing before they get there. They're ready to go. Those pitchers were already ready to go 3 innings from the day they walked into camp. And it kind of shows that's what they're doing now, but they didn't let them stretch it out too much farther the second time, which is what I thought would happen. I thought they let them go a little farther than they are, but I haven't seen anything crazy. I'm a little concerned that a lot of relief pitchers that throw hard, looking at the velocity numbers, they're not matching up to what they did last year. But that just could be, those guys need to ramp up a little bit more. So I'm interested to see how that kind of transitions, because that's what makes them good in the back end. They throw 95 plus. Yeah, that's very difficult. I mean, I get it. A fastball is a fastball, but it ain't just a fastball. That ball is 95 miles an hour, and it goes from left to right or right to left, or it drops a little bit or it rises some. It moves around, and I think that's what most people don't realize is these guys that pitch today in today's baseball are the cream of the crop that's ever pitched in Major League Baseball. And I know that's going to sound bad, and you're going to hear the folks that are purists and all these guys talk about Tom Seaver, and they're going to talk about they're going to talk about Gibson, and they're going to talk about Koufax. Look, guys, I understand. And in their day, they were the best. And in today's world, those pitchers would get rocked. And I'm not kidding. The stuff that the pitchers have today and the ability that they have today is 10 times what those pitchers had. 10 times. And that's why it's so difficult for Major League Baseball hitters today. But at the same time, I'd always tell you this: Major League Baseball pitchers are smart, and Major League Baseball hitters are stupid. And until they start smartening up a little bit, you're just going to have the game kind of play out as it kind of does. So, but the velocity that these guys throw with, the precision in which they can spot pitches, the stuff they're exactly trying to do is way different than what those guys did back in the day. And the movement on the ball, all of that is way different than what it was back then. And it's not that those guys aren't good. It's not that those guys weren't the best of the best when they played and all of that stuff. It's just like anything else. Things evolve and players evolve. And it's a game today where if you play at the big league level, holy shit, you are unbelievably good and unbelievably talented. And it's amazing. Some of these guys still hit 40 home runs and do this and do that against this pitching that's out there. It just amazes me.
Going to be interesting for sure, no doubt.
Well, I'm going to do the NL East today. I'm going to break it down and put it out. I didn't put anything out yesterday. Those things take me a little while to put together, and I just wanted to break from it yesterday. So I did the spring training stuff. Today I'm going to do the NL East, and that's a fun division. I mean, that's just a fun division because they've spent so much money. They bring in so many people, and the teams are so damn close to each other, and trying to figure out who's going to do what and what's going to happen in that division. I think the first preface that I'm going to say is, well, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and the best was the Braves. So if you want to be the best, you got to beat the Braves. And to be honest, I don't know if anybody's better than the Braves still. Even on paper, you look at what the Mets did, and I wrote an article, I don't know, 3 weeks ago about how I thought the Mets were at a point where they probably passed the Braves. But I said the Braves were unfinished. And now that the Braves have got Matt Olson and the Braves have signed Eddie Rosario, and the things that the Braves have done in the back end of the bullpen to get Kenley Jansen, they got a better bullpen. And they got a better offense, and they got pretty good starters. So, I don't think the starters match up to the Mets, but I think everything else does, and I think that keeps the Braves ahead. So I don't know. I'll play it out, and as I write it up, we'll see how it goes.
I think, don't quote me on this, but since I've been out here, the Mets team over under was readjusted and has gone up. I wanted to say it opened at 88.5. And it's now hitting the low 90s for their under over. I don't have the exact number in front of me. But with that said, and Dave obviously was talking about the Phillies, he says the worst fielding team in baseball. Hey, they're going to put up 8 or 9. He goes, but I don't know how they're going to make. They're going to get defensively make any outs. He called them almost like a softball team out there. So, but then you add again the defending champs, the Braves. I have a hard time wrapping my head around the Mets for this reason. We've known for the last handful of years their team is predicated off their starting pitcher. DeGrom couldn't stay healthy. Syndergaard couldn't stay healthy. Now they bring Max in, and I can't get out of my head the fact that I'm just waiting for this guy to break down. And again, no bad karma. I'm not rooting for it, but it's just like the innings that this guy has on his arm. And I know Max is Max. I mean, he came out earlier this week and just mowed him down. I get it. But it just seems like he now found a spot on a team where this is not accepted, but always happens. So it's going to be comical where, again, you can bet the favorites, the Braves, or the co-favorites, the Mets, or you can sit there at plus 450 with the Phillies, with a Nola, with a Wheeler, who Wheeler's already, I think, a little nicked up or whatever it is, but with no back end. And they didn't address it in the All-Star break last year as they were trying to make their run, and they still haven't addressed it.
I'm going to make a statement to you, Jeff, that I think that if you were to go to any one of the guys that you're getting to know now and see if they would make a line on it, I would bet it. And here's my statement. My statement's going to be this: the most important sign for the New York Mets is Chris Bassett. He's the one that's going to make the difference. Now, the reason I say that is because he's going to start in the 3-hole. He's going to be a favorite, or should be a favorite, every time he pitches. there's not going to, he's a number one for the Oakland A's, and he's a number one mentality, and he's only going to have that brain functionality even heightened because he's pitching with DeGrom and Scherzer. Those guys are going to get that guy fired up to pitch. Now, I will say this. Here's where I think that you can go get some pretty good odds. I'm going to tell you, Chris Bassett has more wins than Max Scherzer for the New York Mets. And I would like to see what that number looks like because I would bet it. And I think Chris Bassett has more wins than Max Scherzer. And the reason is going to be is Max is going to go second, and he's going to face some decent pitching. Chris Bassett's going to go third, and he's not. And Chris Bassett is every bit as good a pitcher as there basically is on the Mets. I shouldn't say it that way. He's not as good as Scherzer. He's not as good as DeGrom, but he's a solid number one starter. He's not an ace, but he's a solid number one starter or number two for almost any team, and they're going to pitch him third. And the matchups for him are going to be so much better than anybody else that he should get a lot of wins out of the third spot, where Max is going to have to work his ass off to get his, and so is DeGrom. So I would take Chris Bassett to have more wins than Max Scherzer.
Well, before we jump into today's games, I had already talked to you about my thought process on it. I'm going to take a few swings on the wins, the major league wins leader, and everyone knows here that follows us, the run that I had a handful of years ago with Erod at 150 to 1, holding that $25,000 ticket, tied with 2 weeks to go with 2 starts on the second to last week and then one on the last week, and Verlander hunted me down. I talked to you about Toronto's Manoah. I might even follow up with you with a little pizza and beer money on Bassett. Again, these numbers will be off the charts. And lastly, I just want your quick synopsis, and I think I've already asked you this, and it wasn't great, but I want to hear it again, on Gilbert from Seattle.
Well, Gilbert's a guy that I like because last season, it's a little different last year than this year. Last year, they had a bunch of soft tossers. So they have your whatever the hell the guy's name is, the guy they got from the Cardinals. What's his name?
Was Jamie Moya still there? Does he qualify as a soft tosser?
Yeah, I mean, he's like 50 years old, that guy. So, no, they had Marco Gonzalez. That's who I was looking for. Marco Gonzalez. They have Chris Flexen. Those were the guys that they had. They had Kikuchi. And Gilbert was the hard thrower out of the group. And what was different is that when he pitched, he made a difference because, he was something that they haven't seen. Okay, well, this year they get Robbie Ray. So Robbie Ray throws harder than Gilbert does. And I'm trying to pull up Gilbert's velocity right now. Gilbert throws, let's see. Gilbert throws 95 miles an hour, Jeff. And that's just an average fastball. So, I mean, it's not average. I mean, that's his average speed. So he's going to throw 96, 97 as max, and he's going to throw 94, 93 every once in a while. But he throws 95 miles an hour. So that velocity is a big difference change from what Gonzalez and Flexen throw. His problem for what I can see when I look at it, guys that throw that hard need to be 10 plus in strikeouts per 9 innings. And he's 9. So he's close, but he's not quite over that hump. And he's, and I think the biggest problem there is that his walk rate is 2.1 per 9 innings. So he's got a little bit of a control problem. So, you want him to develop, and I think he's going to be 25 this year. So he's got a lot of growth opportunities ahead and a lot of pitching he can learn. Robbie Ray should be helpful to him in that regard. Um, his metrics that they're projecting for him don't say that he's going to have a great year, and they're showing a FIP number, fielding independent pitching number, of over 4. And you want those guys to be just like an earned run average. You want them to be under 4, and he's over 4. And his innings pitched, I think, are going to be kind of an issue at this time. He threw 119 innings last year. He's going to throw probably 150 this year, 145, something like that. And that's it, as they keep growing him into the position. I like the kid. I think he's a good kid. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near what you should do on a season wins total thing, though, until he gets to a point where he can make 32 starts. He's projected at 25. So that's probably reasonable in terms of the amount of starts that he should make. I like him. I think a lot of times you could get him at good prices. I don't know if you're going to be able to get him at good prices this year because people will know who he is now. So it'll be interesting to see how he develops and where they slot him in. I think if they slot him in the 3-hole or the 4-hole, meaning that they're going to put Marco Gonzalez after Robbie Ray, which I don't know that they would, but they might. If they do that, then that gives him a little bit more of an advantage to pitch in the 3rd spot because of the competition that he's going to be up against that way. I like him. I think he's really good. I think he can be. I don't think he's ever going to be their ace, but he's going to be a good number 2. I don't think that he's going to be given that chance to jump into the Robbie Ray role because they signed him for so long. And it's always going to be Robbie Ray, then Gilbert. I like Gilbert. Don't get me wrong, but I would say this. Think about it from a different level, right? So if Seattle is going to be facing, let's just say they're going to face the Anaheim Angels or the Los Angeles Angels, not Anaheim Angels anymore. Robbie Ray's got to match up to Ohtani, and then you're going to have what, Gilbert? If he goes second, he's got to match up to Syndergaard. And if Syndergaard's on, it's not a match. So he needs to be in that, say, 3rd hole type spot. And then, he's got some opportunities to actually be better than some of this. As deep as they can go, then that guy can fit in. So, maybe they put Chris Flexen in there somewhere. That I think Chris Flexen will be a number 4, number 5 kind of guy. I don't know if anybody remembers who Chris Flexen is or was, but he was a guy that pitched for the Mets. Couldn't make it with the Mets. Throws, 89, 90 miles an hour. Went over to the KBO, and they don't have to throw 80. They throw an 89, 90 miles an hour over there is awesome. So he is the KBO World Series MVP. Wins over 20 games. Seattle signs him. Last year he has a good season. Throws a lot of innings for them. And now he's going to get. I guarantee you, he's going to get shelled. But people will think he's a really good pitcher, and you know what? Sometimes when you're a veteran guy, it kind of goes that way. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's what I would say about Gilbert. Good morning, Marty. But it is one of those things. I think Seattle's a 500 type team, and when I look at them. I will say that, Houston still is the team to beat. If look at it this way, if you have Verlander that starts for Houston, and then you have, let's just say McCullers goes second. Now he's going to pitch. Now he's just off to a slow start, but he's not there. He's not going to make it right out of the gate, but he'll pitch. And then you have Luis Garcias and Framber Valdez. And you match those guys up against Gilbert. Gilbert's still going to be the underdog. So I kind of like the idea here that He's a good pitcher, but he's not there yet.
Shout out to Marty. Good morning, my brother. How are you? Hope everything is well. The weekend is here. And always a shout out to Mr. Lucky himself, Mr. Follow Fade. Safe travels. He will be coming into town tomorrow, and the goal is myself and Dave to meet up with him and his friend Saturday afternoon, early evening, watch some games, cash some tickets, maybe grab some dinner, and then Sunday, God willing, head over to the South Point where Bernie Fratto will be waiting for him with bells on. And I can't imagine the stories that are going to be thrown around between that table there. So some exciting days and nights coming in for Mr. Follow, Mr. Lucky, Mr. Follow Fade himself. So always, always, always thank you for all the love and support from everyone here. It's much appreciated. We couldn't do it without you. So with that said, Scotty, the weekend's here. The NBA board's in front of you. Again, I'm just going off of my worksheets. I have some notes and stuff, but fire away if you see anything tonight.
Well, just sort of a recap from yesterday. I didn't really play anything, but I talked about 4 games yesterday, and this is kind of where the numbers are really in line. So I talked about the Cleveland Toronto game. Thought that was a good one to go over. It went over. I talked about the Denver game. I didn't understand Denver and Phoenix, and I didn't understand Phoenix being an underdog in that game, and they win box to wire. And then talked about New Orleans yesterday, and I liked New Orleans in that they flipped the numbers and they go on and win the game too. So the numbers were all good. I just didn't really play them. Shame on me, but I'm getting ready for baseball, so I'm sort of not so much pulling tickets in the basketball, but the numbers were really good yesterday of all the games we talked about. So today, looking at the numbers, one of the things that I ran into is Wager Talk has no real opening line numbers. So I went back and got them from pregame. And what I'm looking at right now is Utah plays Charlotte tonight in Charlotte. And Utah is a 4-point favorite. And Charlotte has been playing so much better. In fact, over the last 14 days, they're the leading team scoring wise in the NBA. And then when you look at what Utah is doing, especially on the road, they're a little different type team. So my numbers show that Utah at -4 is too many points. I do these things 3 different ways, but the home and away numbers have always been the closest ones, and that margin of victory for that shows that Charlotte should win the game by 1 point, and then if you do it over the last 14 days, Charlotte should win that game going away. So my numbers are really showing Charlotte as a favorite here, and they're the underdog at 4 points. So I like Charlotte tonight. That's one. Minnesota plays Dallas at home, and Minnesota is one of those teams that are crazy too. And I will tell you this, looking at lineups for tonight, Doncic is showing as game time decision for Dallas. So I see -3 for Minnesota. And I think Minnesota is going to be the right side in that game. And then the last one that I saw was New York and Miami. These teams have been playing a better offense as of late. And I do like this game to go over 215.5. So those would be the 3 numbers that I was looking at. I will also say this, be careful on that New York and Miami game. Because Randall and Robinson for New York, 2 starters, are listed as game time decisions. And for Miami, it is Robinson, Butler, and Tucker. And if those guys aren't going to play, then you need to scratch that over, because you need your starters out there to play to get the right numbers to match up. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Steph Curry's not playing tonight for Golden State. So you see Atlanta as -4, or they were -4. Now it's 2.5 or something like that against Golden State. So you've got some different things. There's a lot of guys not playing. Kuzma for Washington is a game time decision tonight. For Portland, not that anybody cares, but Hart and Winslow are game time decisions. So lots of guys kind of resting. And I will tell you, I think there's only like 10 games left in the NBA. So they're getting down to the wire here. So it doesn't surprise me to see certain guys not playing anymore, or some guys won't even play the rest of the season probably. But it is what it is. So just be careful out there.
College hoops, round 2 of the Sweet 16. I always preach respect the opening numbers, trust the opening numbers, trust your eyes. I'll be honest with you. I hate tonight's slate. I think there's a lot of landmines, but with that said, I could see the chalk and the public rolling. Rotation number 631, 632, North Carolina, UCLA. UCLA opened at -2, which I thought was a fishy number the way North Carolina's playing with UCLA's injury problems. Yet overnight, the line has gone to 2.5. Now, with that said, I haven't heard boo about anyone talking about UCLA all this week. I know the world's on. But listen, when I say the world's on, by the way, I got to clarify this. I actually got jabbed by a troll that I wanted to come over the top and hit over the head the other day. When I say the world's on a team, I am just stating what I am reading in the numbers. Okay. I have 6 sites with spreadsheets with 50 plus sports books that I follow. Okay. So when I say the world's on it, I'm looking at 65-35 splits, 70-30 splits, 75-25 splits. That doesn't mean the whole world's on them. I'm just saying it's lopsided. Okay? So don't come at me with something like that. Okay? Please get your facts straight before you come at me. Well, the whole world's not on them. So there's my vent for the day there. But again, I think the mindset is you got to take Carolina in the points. UCLA opened up 2-point favorites for a reason. Now 2.5, Scotty.
I'm showing Wager Talk says the number was 2.5, and it's still 2.5. I'm showing on pregame it says the number was 3, and now it's 2. So it's all goofy, but whatever. There's $288,000 on the game. 61% of the money, 64% of the tickets is on North Carolina.
I rest my case. Okay. 61-39 split. Okay. The line opened at 2. Trust me, it is now 2.5. Sharper, heavier money are coming on in the Bruins. Does that mean to go run to the window and put your paycheck on the Bruins? I didn't say that. I could see UCLA winning this game outright. There's no doubt about it. I'm just telling you, the line opened at 2. It's now 2.5 with a 61-39 split. So if you're on the Tigers, just be wary. I'm just telling you, if you're going to jump on UCLA, I'd float around with the money line. It's probably around 135. I don't like to leave 2.5 points on the desk and get hooked there. All right. Now, we talked to some insiders, the guys behind the desk. This next game, rotation number 633, 634, St. Peter's and Purdue. Opened at 12.5, just now went to 13 overnight. It's a 4-1 ticket count on St. Peter's. 4-1 ticket count on St. Peter's.
Showing 247,000 on this game. 64% of the money, 67% of the tickets on St. Peter's.
Yet the line opened at 12.5, froze all week, now 13. So just be careful there. All right, the Luck Bucks team of the century, Providence. Rotation number 635, 636. The opening number at the Westgate Superbook was 9. Most books then opened it at 8.5. It is now a flat 7. I can tell you, I respect Ed Cooley. I respect what they've done. They've been an amazing team, an amazing run. If they stay in punching distance of Kansas, this is not your Danny Manning Kansas teams. This is not your Paul Pierce teams. Okay, this is a good team. This is not one of Kansas's better teams. Okay, I think Kansas is going to win. I do. Do they cover the 7.5, 8.5, 9? I don't know. I really don't know. But this number is dropping.
So showing 251,000 on the game, 66% of the money, 61% of the tickets on Providence.
A public trendy dog. That's all I'm going to say. Like St. Peter. St. Peter is the biggest public trendy dog of the day. Providence is second. Last and not least, 637, 638 rotation number, Iowa State, Miami of Florida. Okay, guys, clean out the ears for a second. Make sure you can hear what I'm about to say. Iowa State opened 1.5 point favorites. Iowa State opened 1.5 point favorites. Miami Hurricanes now 3-point favorites. There is not one person out there that's bet now Iowa State. None. I haven't heard that name. The whole world's on Miami. If you back Iowa State, go to CVS, go to Walgreens. There's in the stomach aisle, there's a thing called Tums. Okay? If you back this team like we did against Wisconsin, you got a duck. There's a lot of bricks being thrown around. It is the ugliest team I've ever seen in my life. They opened up 1.5 point favorites. That's all I can tell you. Now they're 3-point underdogs.
This is showing 215,000. So it's the least one, at least bet one. 64% of the money, 69% of the tickets on Miami.
And again, I'm not telling you Miami doesn't run and hide, because if they get out by 6 or 8, it's literally like 20 against this Iowa State team. They cannot score. They can't. And it's hats off to get to where they are. Miami's that team where they can get out. They play good defense. They don't turn the ball over, and that's what Iowa State thrives on. So just keep an eye on that one. I'll be throwing tidbits out all day. I'm trying to get to the hockey for everyone. I do know overnight rotation number 21-22. The Rangers and Pittsburgh were a pick 'em. Now Pittsburgh minus 120, Scott.
$2,700 so far, Jeff. 53% of the money, 75% of the tickets on the Rangers.
Philly at Colorado. I just have to throw this out here. Colorado opened up minus 390. Now minus 410. I said that. Minus 390, now 410 for a hockey game for 60 minutes.
Yeah, and that's amazing to me. This is the highest bet hockey game so far. $17,000 on the game, 93% of the money, and 67% of the tickets on Colorado.
Arizona at Calgary, and Calgary opened at 375, now 395. Actually, 405 at Jazz.
Showing 7,000 on this one, 84% of the money, and 73% of the tickets on Calgary.
And I did see one flip for you, Cactus, and oh my God, brain fart here. Grapefruit League, guys, where my eyes have been phenomenal. And I don't see it here. Damn it. I think it actually was on the Minnesota and the Pirates. Don't quote me on. I'll put it up on my timeline there. Closing thoughts, Scott.
Well, it's Friday. I think it's a good day to have some fun today. I'm going to have some fun, do the National League East. I think that'll be a fun division to do. And then I'll have all my National League stuff done in terms of writing. That'll be done. And then, it'll be all out there. And then we'll get into the American League. So it'll be a good time in my office today.
For myself over here, as the weekend's here and it's going to get crazy again here in Vegas, our goal is simple. We stick to the script. We stick to our strategies. We grind on a day-to-day basis. Listen, we've had 2 big weeks in a row, envelope Mondays, some great profit for the ECSI VIP family. And this week we're even. We're right at the Mendoza line. We're down some juice, but that doesn't mean we go out and fire. It's a tough board today, and we'll just see what we see. Uh, Always trust and respect the opening numbers. I can't stress it enough. Again, Iowa State opened up at 1.5. I thought that UCLA -2 was a statement against the Carolina team. Uh, and St. Peter's and Providence are the big public trendy dogs. So be careful there. Myself and Scott will be back hopefully tomorrow morning. We'll get a show out there before everything breaks. Wheels up for me on Thursday night, the red eye. I'll be back in Boston Friday morning, trying to use the weekend to get back on the schedule, East Coast time, as we get closer to the 5th and opening day there. Again, to Mr. Lucky, safe travels. It's going to be hot, Mr. Lucky. They're talking low 90s tomorrow and Sunday around 89. So dress accordingly. And I do have a hoodie for you, so you won't need it when you get here, but you might need it, at some point early in the morning when you get back home. So any comments, questions, concerns, follow me at EC Sports Invest. Follow Mr. Webb at Webby20MLB. And always, always, always remember this. If you are wagering or investing today, do it responsibly. Myself and Scott want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. But if you do have that problem, pick up the phone. There's an 800 number. Ask for help. We're here. We're here. Have some fun with these games. Stay in your lanes. Don't get over your ski tips. If you are throwing remotes, kicking doors, smashing glasses, you're in too deep. Pull it back. Step off the gas. Take a 0 off one of those numbers. Have some fun here. So from myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Scotty Webb at Webby20MLB, we wish everyone a blessed day. The weekend is here. Enjoy the games, and we will see you soon.